Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome. Hi, M95. Welcome. Let me know if you want to join on the live. You can request. Meanwhile, I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about some things, some sexist tropes, and wow, the video keeps pausing, huh? So I don't know if you're familiar with that certain types of characters and visual, audio-visual storytelling, mainly filmmaking, cinema, movies, that are often pretty sexist, like the Manic Yesterday. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, show you this. This is from the Fifth Element. This is called Lilo, who plays uh, this guy's love interest, I guess, played by Bruce. Lilo is known as a born sexy yesterday trope. And that trope basically describes female characters who are completely ignorant of social conventions. Maybe they're newly created robots or aliens who've just come to Earth, or they grew up in the wilderness, you name it. And so they appear dumb and naive like they are born yesterday. Although they're intellectually and socially immature, they're also depicted as sexually mature. She has the mind of a naive yet highly skilled child, explains the narrator of pop culture detective. But in the body of a mature sexualized woman, she also serves as our hero's love interest. Hello? And the key part, let me go on down here. This is the key part of it. The crux of the trope, this trope known as the born sexy yesterday, is a fixation on male superiority, a fixation with holding power over an innocent girl. But in order to make that socially acceptable, science fiction is employed to put the mind of that girl into a sexualized adult woman's body. It's a fantasy based on fear of women who are men's equal in sexual experience and romantic history, and fear of losing the intellectual upper hand to women. And that is Lilo to a T in the Fifth Element. Again, that is this trope right here. Born Sexy Yesterday is the name of this trope. So welcome, welcome. I'm just having a little talk on sexist tropes in movies. The next one is the manic pixie dream girl. That would be Zoe Deschanel. I think her last name is Deschanel. Character in 500 Days of Summer would be a good example. And also Yes Man, who's also played, okay, that character is also played by the same actress, Zoe, who plays Jim Carrey's love interest. The manic pixie dream girl is somebody who is quote-unquote crazy or fairy-like, who only exists in the movie to be the man's muse, in a way, who will draw him out of his boredom or depression or whatever, and doesn't have a life of her own, who exists solely for the male love interest. And that's the manic pixie dream girl. And then next we have the Mary Sue. Okay. For some reason my browser turned off on its own, so I'll have to reopen it. Allow request to be on the live if you want to. Share some poetry. I'm talking about sexist tropes in filmmaking in movies. So far I've talked about the Born Sexy Yesterday, then the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, and now I'm going to talk about the Mary Sue. So this is the Mary Sue. The Mary Sue is a type of fictional character, usually a young woman, who is portrayed as unrealistically free of weakness. Originating in fan fiction, a Mary Sue is often an author's idealized self-insertion. The term Mary Sue was coined by Paula Smith as a character's name in the 1973 parody short story A Trekkie's Tale, which satirized idealized female characters widespread in Star Trek fan fiction. A male character with similar traits may be labeled as a Gary Stu or Marty Stu. In fact, even the Rey's character in the latest Star Wars is sort of a Mary Sue as well. Alright, so Born Sexy Yesterday, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, and the Mary Sue are the three main female sexist tropes. And then the males, on the other hand, the male characters are often portrayed as very stalkerish, and yet that stalker behavior is kind of shown as romantic. Like The Notebook, it's a great example of that. The guy literally jumps on the Ferris wheel and threatens to commit suicide, and if she doesn't go out with her, and that's romantic, I don't get it. That's so ridiculous. So to me, The Notebook is definitely not an example of a romantic movie, no matter how popular that is. So meanwhile, I'll read from this book. I'm gonna read this The Mystery Feast by Ben Okri. Oh, there's usually a lag, huh? So I'm gonna have to show you the book for more than a few seconds. Ben Okri, The Mystery Feast. The Mystery Feast. Ben Okri. I love the author's interpretation of Cinderella here. Take the story of Cinderella. She's the one who is ignored, who does the hard work of cleaning, while the two elder sisters get to go to the ball. Yet it is her foot the slipper fits. On one level, this is a tale of wish fulfillment. On another level, it could be seen as a hint of the rewards of humility. It could also be seen as a parable about those who might inherit the earth, that it is not the showy ones, the evidently beautiful ones, or the famous ones that the true riches of the kingdom come to, but perhaps those who toil unseen. Have you noticed that when someone does something astounding, publishes an important new novel, makes an invaluable new scientific discovery, or creates an amazing new work of art, the press always says, they came from nowhere? They didn't come from nowhere. They came from where Cinderella came from, toiling in the unglamorous back rooms of their chosen field, wherever life has led them. The idea that most girls have that they are Cinderella and will gain Cinderella's crown is to miss acres of its possible interpretations. The truth is that because of her hard work, her obedience, her humility, her goodness of spirit, her kindliness, her toughness, her quiet initiative, because of all these things and more, which the tale only hints at, Cinderella is the most deserving of the sisters. She earned her glory by her toil and her spirit, and not by the appropriate size of her feet. In this story, her feet are merely the symbol of having walked the right path. And that is it. Thank you all for watching.